We tend to think of reading as a receptive skill. Not that difficult. You can take your time. If there's a word you don't understand, you can look it up in the dictionary. Actually, reading is of critical importance. There's reading for life. You're taking an online course. You need to navigate a website. You need to find the course, the price, how to apply. That's reading. You're sent an offer in the mail, perhaps a financial offer from a bank or a finance company. You need to be able to read critically to understand what they're really saying and what you're committing yourself to. And of course, all teachers, all librarians, we all want our students to read for pleasure, to develop the reading habit. And then there's reading for school. I think it's true to say that all English language exams have a reading element. So that's why we call our programme active reading, because we want to encourage students to take an active approach to the reading skill. So here we are on the active reading homepage on the Clarity English website, and I'm going to scroll down to the demo and let's take a look at active reading. So here's the homepage. The programme runs at 6 levels, from elementary, A2, all the way up to advanced, which is at C1. Let's take a look at, let's click into the pre-intermediate level. So the navigation on this programme is very simple. Let's click through the different levels and take a look at some of the reading skills that we cover in this programme. So I'm going to click on elementary. Here we can see that the topic is making a journey. It's all about vocabulary, learning vocabulary in topics. Pre-intermediate, understanding suffixes. And the topic is the weather, it's lightning. Click through to intermediate, inference, words and meaning. So can we see what the writer is really trying to say by approaching the text critically? Upper intermediate, understanding synonyms and how synonyms are used in the text, and how synonyms can help us to guess the meaning of unknown words. Pre-advanced, and it's understanding time in a text, understanding how texts are organised and structured. And finally, here at the advanced level, obviously here we're just looking at one of the units out of the 10, and this is the skill of scanning for specific information, an essential skill for everyone. So let's click back into pre-intermediate. I'm going to click on the unit and let's take a look. Each unit is structured in 3 parts. First of all, there is the starting out section, which is a video of a teacher explaining what you're going to learn in the unit, the topic of the unit and the learning objectives. Then the practice zone, which is where you will find the interactive exercises. And finally, the resource bank, which is a repository of PDFs and other information that you can download, as well as having follow-on materials, which we've recently added. Let's start by clicking to watch the video.
Okay, let's start with a little quiz. You know lightning, the flashes of light that come from the sky when there is a storm? Well, can you answer these questions? Lightning is hotter than the sun. True or false?
Okay, lightning is hotter than the sun. True or false? We won't watch the whole video. We'll just click through to the first exercise, getting started. So this is a simple screen that tells you what you're going to achieve in the unit. So yeah, we're going to start with a short quiz. We're going to look at vocabulary, specifically how we can use suffixes to improve or expand our vocabulary. Finally, we're going to get out onto the internet. So let's start by downloading the worksheet. Okay, this is a pre-reading exercise which is going to stimulate the students, motivate them to read the text in the next activity. So here we are, question 4. Lightning is hotter than the sun. What do you think, true or false? Lightning hits more than 500,000 people every year. True or false? So pre-reading exercise, go through. You're not expected to know the answers, but you can confirm or correct your choices in the next exercise. So I'm going to click on next at the top here. And here we have the main text of the unit. Okay, so we can read this or we can listen to it at the same time. Here are the instructions. Read the article below, but do not look at the questions on the right. Then read the article again and answer the questions. I'm going to click on the audio and I'm going to listen to the text while I read it.
Struck by lightning. It's a rainy day in Jackson, Florida. David Barnes, a telephone company engineer, is mending a telephone line. Suddenly, he jumps backwards. There is a very loud bang, and light comes out of his hand.
Okay, why is it useful for us to listen to the text? Well, let's look at 3 reasons. First of all, you can hear how the speaker groups the words into sense groups, which helps you with the understanding of the text. You can hear that the speaker, the reader, stresses the important words in the text, the meaning words, the content meaning words. And you can also listen to words that are new to you. So as we all know, spelling in English is a bit of a nightmare, very difficult to know how a word is pronounced from the spelling. So when we hear it, that just adds another element to our understanding of the vocabulary. Once we've read the text, we can go to the questions. So here's the question we looked at before. Lightning is hotter than the sun. True or false? I'm going to say false. Okay, I'm wrong. So let's look across. How hot is lightning? Scientists say that it is 3 times hotter than the sun. Wow. Okay, so I can relate the answer here to the text. I'm integrating it into the text. So we can see that I've integrated the initial worksheet, then this exercise and the text itself. When I've finished, I can click on marking, can get the answers, and I can click on feedback for all of the questions. Okay, now I'm going to click forward. Okay, so that's your comprehension activity. Now this is the reading skill that we're looking at, which is suffixes, vocabulary skill. So here's the equivalent of the teacher input. This is the teacher input, and the concept of suffixes is explained in very simple terms and very simple vocabulary. So although we're looking at students at a B1 level, here we're looking at pretty much A1 words. Study, student, slow, slowly, sun, sunny. Okay, a simple concept. Let's move forward and look at how it works in practice. So we've got the words down in the exercise part of the screen, and we've got the suffixes at the top. And what's nice about this exercise is that we're actually physically putting them together. So rain, rainy. You may notice that these sentences come from the text we've just looked at. Back, backwards, sudden, suddenly. Okay, let's get marking. We won't do the whole exercise. Let's see the answers. And once again, we can listen to the correct answers.
Rainy. It was a rainy day in Jackson.
Okay, this time let's go a step further and actually listen and record ourselves. We're going to listen one more time.
Rainy. It was a rainy day in Jackson.
And now I'm going to record myself. Rainy. It was a rainy day in Jackson. Listen. Rainy. It was a rainy day in Jackson. And now I'm going to listen to this.
Rainy. It was a rainy day in Jackson.
Okay, not bad. Okay, let's click on feedback, and I'm going to get the same information expressed in different ways. So I've got it here in kind of grammatical terms. Use OUS, change a noun to an adjective. But if I'm not the kind of person that responds well to this sort of grammar terminology, I've got the examples here. She has fame, she's famous. She's very slow, she walks very slowly. Okay, so here I am matching up. It's kind of it's a drag and drop, it's kind of a multiple choice, isn't it? And I don't actually have to produce it from my mind. So when I click forward, that is exactly what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to remember and write it down, which is a little bit more difficult. The bus to work goes very slowly. I'm 5 years older than my sister. Okay, I won't spend too much time on this, but let's look at the answers. So we're working again on the same suffixes. And finally, something a bit freer. It's very easy to look on these activities as a kind of academic exercise, but actually we want this to be very practical. So we want to get our students out into the real world of authentic English. So here we want them to use the internet to find out what the weather is like today in different places. So I like the BBC weather channel, so I'm going to click on that. Obviously now, once I get here, probably the very first thing I'm going to do is click on my own hometown where I live, just because it's useful to know the weather. So, here. Okay, and that's going to tell me the weather for the next few days, and it's also going to show me some real authentic vocabulary here. Now I've got light rain showers and a gentle breeze. Okay, I probably don't know what a gentle breeze is, but I've got real authentic motivation to find out. This is really immersing students here in the language. It's a great way of encouraging and motivating them to learn new vocabulary. And to get into an authentic English environment without leaving their desks. Okay, so we're hoping they're going to write some sentences. That's the activity. But anyway, they can use this exercise in different ways to improve their English and to motivate themselves. So those are the 6 units in this exercise. I'm going to finish off by clicking into the resource bank. I've got a video transcript at the bottom, and I've got, because people like to learn in different ways, some people like to have things printed out. So we've got another exercise here. Same topic, same reading skill. This is about freezing rain. So I can print this out and fill it in on paper and then use the answer key to mark it. Or I can hand it in if my teacher wants to see it. So meanwhile, while I am going through this, the software, the program is monitoring everything I'm doing, and so I can click on progress reports. It's going to show me a range of different things, the percentage of each unit that I've covered. It's going to compare me and everybody else using the program, and so on. And then I can get a certificate at the end. Now, if you're a teacher, you can access this and see what your students are doing. You can generate reports for individual students and for groups of students. If you're a librarian, perhaps you're in a public library or the school library, you can generate reports on overall usage, the number of sessions that have been done every month, and which parts of the program have been used as well. Okay, that's active reading. Don't forget, it can be used, let me just go back to the home page. Don't forget that it can be used not just on laptops and desktops, but I'm going to shrink this in and let's see how it can be used on mobile as well. So it's truly flexible. Let's go back to the final point I want to make is how we can deliver this effectively to learners. So let's go back to the active reading webpage at clarityenglish.com. And here we have a syllabus document. Obviously, you don't want to work through the whole programme to discover what's in it, so click here and you've got this handy key to the contents of each unit, each level and each unit. And then down below you've got other resources, a web image, so that when students come in, they're not just clicking on a sort of on a cold blue line of text. They have an image, more attractive image to click on. Flyers that you can leave on the library counter for people to pick up so they know where to access the programme. Posters to put up on the wall. So that is an overview of a snapshot of active reading. As always, if you have any questions, you're most welcome to contact us. Simply send an email to info@clarityenglish.com.